Welcome to today's press conference. At the top, I'd like to announce the following. At the invitation of the government of the Republic of Peru, President Xi Jinping's special envoy and Minister of Science and Technology He Jun will attend the presidential handover ceremony in Peru's capital Lima from July 27th to 28th. To follow up on President Pellegrini's upcoming visit that China has just announced, could you share with us the program of the visit? How does China see its current relations with Slovakia, and what's your expectation? Slovakia is among the first countries to recognize and establish diplomatic ties with New China, and is also China's important cooperation partner in Europe. Under the strategic guidance of President Xi Jinping and the Slovak leaders, the two countries have maintained robust ties and yielded fruitful outcomes in cooperation across various fields. This is President Pellegrini's first visit to China since he took office. During the visit, President Xi Jinping will hold talks with President Pellegrini to jointly draw a blueprint for the future development of China-Slovakia relations, and have an exchange of views on bilateral relations and international and regional issues of mutual interest. Premier Li Qiang and Chairman of the NPC Standing Committee Zhao Leji will meet with him respectively. Through this visit, China is ready to work with Slovakia to deepen traditional friendship and political mutual trust, better synergize the development strategies, expand exchanges and cooperation in various fields, advance high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and cooperation between China and Central and Eastern European countries, and continue enriching China-Slovakia strategic partnership. Next question, please.
Good afternoon. Question from AFP. A new wave of U.S. tariffs targeting 60 of its trading partners took effect today. China in particular has been hit with a 12.5% tariff. Can the Foreign Ministry provide a comment on this? Thank you.
China's position on China-US economic and trade issues is consistent and clear. We oppose all forms of unilateral tariffs. Tariff wars and trade wars do not serve any party's interest.
Just a quick follow-up from Bloomberg on that. Does China have any intention to take countermeasures in regards to these new tariffs? Thank you.
I have just made China's position clear. Phoenix TV. A few days ago, Yemen's Houthis announced a maritime embargo of Saudi Arabia and a claimed attack on 2 Saudi oil tankers. What's your comment? China is closely following the situation in the Red Sea. We believe that it's important to respect the sovereignty and security of all regional countries and ensure that the international shipping lane is open and safe and should be safeguarded by all. China calls on relevant parties to exercise restraint, keep the dialogue and consultation going for properly handling the disputes and disagreements, avoid expediting confrontation, and work for restoring peace and stability to the Gulf region at an early date. Next one, please.
Thank you, spokesperson. Question from Reuters. President Trump said overnight that President Xi Jinping will be visiting the U.S. on September 24th, and that the leaders will have a conversation covering AI. Just wanted to know if the ministry has any updates on the visit, if this is indeed the date that President Xi will travel there, and also whether AI is part of the meeting agenda. Thank you.
Heads of state diplomacy plays an irreplaceable role in providing strategic guidance for China-US relations. China stands ready to work with the US to deliver on the important common understandings between the two presidents in AI.
Question from Bloomberg. I saw that there was an announcement about the visit by Mr. Ma Xiaoshu to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg is reporting that part of the objectives of this trip is to discuss the AI working group, to seek clarity on that so that the Chinese side can put together the appropriate team depending on the agenda. Can you confirm that this is part of the TRIPS purpose to seek clarity on the AI working group? Thank you.
There's a readout on Deputy Foreign Minister Ma Zhaoshui's visit to the U.S. The two sides had in-depth exchanges of views on following up on the important common understandings between leaders of the two countries and building a constructive China-U.S. relationship of strategic stability. AI is high agenda of the international community. China stands ready to work with the U.S. to implement the common understandings between the two leaders in AI.
这位是记者提问。据报道，7月22。
Shenzhen TV, it's reported that Chinese authorities announced on July 22nd that China's imports of Brasilia beef had reached 80% of the quota. Brazil's Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock said in the statement that China takes specific safeguard measure for all beef imports that exceed the quota, and Brazil was awarded the largest quota, and this condition has not yet been achieved. Brazil also clarified that the 55% of surcharge will only be applied to the volume that exceeds the quota. Can you have a comment on that? Competent Chinese authorities and relevant Chamber of Commerce have made statements on the safeguard investigation into imported beef. Let me stress that China has been Brazil's largest trading partner for 17 years running. In the first half of this year, bilateral trade volume rose by nearly 30% year-on-year, with Brazil's exports to China accounting for over 30% of its total exports. China stands ready to maintain communication with all relevant sides, including Brazil, to further expand sound and steady economic and trade cooperation. Next one, please.
Good afternoon. A question from CNN on the subject of the South China Sea. A CNN team aboard a Philippine vessel witnessed a China Coast Guard ship coming in within 7 meters of a Philippine ship while hitting it with a water cannon. The Philippine Coast Guard has condemned the China Coast Guard for what it says are, quote, illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive actions. Our question is, how does the Foreign Ministry respond? Thank you.
On the Philippine vessels' infringement activities and provocations in the water of China's Huangyandao, China Coast Guard has set the record straight. Huangyandao has always been China's territory. As relevant Philippine vessels deliberately intruded into the waters, it's legitimate and lawful for China to take necessary measures to uphold its rights and security, which is professional, standard, and beyond reproach. The Philippines should immediately stop its infringement activities and provocations. Let me stress that by bringing journalists along for its infringement activities, making provocations on purpose, and playing up the issue, the Philippines are trying to create tensions at sea. It's another testament that it is the Philippines who undermines the peace and stability in the South China Sea and stirs up trouble in the region.
In a phone call on Thursday, the US President Donald Trump assured the Philippine leader Ferdinand Marcos Jr. that he would take up Manila's concerns over China, or regarding China, when he met with President Xi Jinping in the upcoming visit. Does the Foreign Ministry have any comment on President Donald Trump's commitment to raise the issue with the Chinese leader? Thank you.
We have taken note of relevant reports. The U.S. is not a party to the South China Sea issue. As has been proven, those who seek to use extra-regional powers as a prop to start provocations will only end up as expendable pawns, left to swallow the bitter fruit of their own making.
Beijing Daily. The ROK reportedly returned a pair of Qing Dynasty stone lion statues to China yesterday. Can I have your comments on that? China highly commends the ROK for returning the Qing Dynasty stone lion statues snatched by Japan. China and the ROK share the painful history of suffering from Japanese militarist aggression and having cultural relics lost overseas. The return of the stone lions is a concrete step to deliver on the important common understandings between the two presidents in their meeting in January this year and demonstrates both sides' willingness to remember history and engage in cooperation.
A question from Bloomberg. This is in regards to reports from Australia that Chinese diplomats requested that representatives from Taiwan be excluded from the conference of the Labour Party of Australia. When the Labour Party then refused to exclude the Taiwanese representatives, the Chinese diplomats are said to have left the conference. Can you confirm if these reports are accurate, and can you offer any further comment on the incident? Thank you.
The Taiwan authorities are going around to show existence and to seek independence. Their attempts will lead nowhere. China urges relevant parties to uphold the One China principle and handle the Taiwan-related issues properly, and should not provide any facilitation and platform for Taiwan independent separatist individuals.